I got nothing. I love the South. There's cool cities, Asheville, Athens.
And there's good people.
Louisville, great people. Very friendly, nothing but good times. Somehow when they go into the voting booth, they lose their minds. Yeah. But so my big thing when I walked away was like, why don't Democratic candidates go to these NASCAR races, take the booze on the chin? Because the big trick is they're just not even exposed to the idea that, like, free market is bullshit. They're not even exposed to the idea that, Well,
I talk about that in my act. I say it's interesting that, you have these people who we categorize, like a NASCAR fan, and who are, so quick to call Obama a socialist and afraid of socialism, but that really have no problem supporting a communist government through product purchase.
Absolutely.
They most of their NASCAR gear, I'd imagine a lot of it is made in China, and that more of what they think...
100% probably.
Yeah. And for some reason their intellect doesn't cross that line.
Or they somehow have no problem giving $48 billion in oil subsidies to companies that are the most profitable in the world, but yet they hate welfare.
Right.
And really, let's face it, the whole thing that's led to this insanity we're in is an information blockade. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, it's an information blockade, and we live in a world where now people can really cherry pick the information they decide is true.
Yep. Yeah.
It's untethered.
It's untethered, and they got very comfortable with certain myths that are fun myths. God, I wish they were true, by the way.
Myths are powerful.
If the right wing was true, it'd be really fun. It would mean we're the best in the world.
Yeah.
You just got to be tough. You can pull yourself up by your bootstraps. There's no systems at work. It's all about heart and character. That'd be fucking awesome, by the way.
It's a fair playing field.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. And if you have a gun, you can protect your family.
Sure.
You're not 60% more likely to get shot if you have a gun in your house. You're going to fucking...
Yeah.
It's Charles Bronson, you know? So I wish that was true. But so these myths are so comfortable, and they were all marketed and advertised, and it's the Marlboro Man just went into politics.
Yeah.
And so now the information has been so cut off. You just talk to people that have no idea that, like, the second biggest owner of Fox is a sheik who contributes to suicide bombers' families. That's jarring if you hear that. You know?
And also they can go, that's just the way they're spinning it. You notice that's not on Fox, but then they're like, no, it is. The guy was on Fox. Yeah, but that you guys are spinning it.
No, it's a fact. Here's the actual shares that he owns.
Sure, you can call it a fact. I know the difference between spin and fact, and that's spin.
Well, you know what they'll do? They'll do the move at that point, which I call the jump out.
Yeah.
Which is you jump out of the conversation and then go completely. You go, all right, here the shares are. You know what, though? You liberals, let me tell you something.
Oh, yeah, change the subject.
Yeah,
change the
gears.
subject. No, I understand that. In my mind... Like, my question is that after doing political radio for a long time and then getting away from it, because, ultimately being involved in politics is very easy to get disillusioned with all sides of it.
No question.
And that, the compromises these guys make, either because they have to maintain office or because they're morally bankrupt or not really committed to the people.
Right.
Is very disillusioning over time. There's very few guys that actually stand for the people. So my question is that given the culture we live in now, the idea of actually changing minds. Like, the one trick about comedy is, like, some people are going to take it as just a comedy. Other people are not going to resonate with the stuff that, is supposed to have some thrust.
Sure.
So, how effective is comedy? Like, for instance, Dr. Strangelove is a great political satire.
Yeah.
In terms of how that changed minds. How do you change minds?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think there's ever a snapping point where you see a mind change. I think it's a slow accumulation of experiences and information.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever wants anyone to change their mind for them. And probably that's a healthy instinct. I don't ever want to I want to hear information that's going to question my beliefs, but I don't ever want to go, all right, Mark, make me believe this. You don't ever want that moment.
But a lot of guys listen to stuff that defines their anger. That they, like plenty of ditto heads, Rush Limbaugh followers, are very comfortable with him guiding their minds and giving them their thoughts.
And that's really dangerous and
clearly.
Yeah, and clearly really dangerous.
What I'm sort of baffled by is that there is this fundamental, denial of truth and denial of facts and this commitment to bullshit that I think is really, comedy has a tremendous amount of power to dismantle that shit.
Well, I think you probably agree with this, and I think any extreme is wrong. All it is about adapting and doing what's necessary. I would argue that after Jimmy Carter, 1 year of Ronald Reagan wasn't a bad idea. We needed a little kick in the pants. We needed to wave some flags. We were feeling really shitty at that point.
Right.
1 year would have been great. Unfortunately, we got 8 years, and he destroyed our country. But and I think it's true now. We're talking about the transnational monopolies. You have to raise trade tariffs. We only pay 2%. India pays 40%. They have a 40% tariff. China has 22%. We only have a 2% tariff. That's crazy. you notice no one talks about that. I mean, you could almost say that one issue alone could change our whole nation if we went to a 10% trade tariff.
Because it would encourage manufacturing?
All the manufacturing would come back here.
Right.
Walmart couldn't be making that money anymore. You'd see factories spring up all over this country, and you get rid of all those subsidies, the $48 billion. You get rid of the Bush tax. By the way, we could literally balance the budget and fix the economy right now in 10 minutes. That's how easy it is. The problem is the wall of white noise and misinformation and anger that gets in the way of it, where they justify everything. How about Mitch McConnell in Kentucky voted against the Made in America provision for the stimulus package? And he's in the poorest state in the country, against the Made in America provision. But no one talks about that. Instead, it's about liberals, it's about gay marriage.
Because what you just talked about to most people is like, la la. You know, politics as usual.
Well, that drives me crazy. I've been getting mad at people lately when they say that to me. They'll say like, hey, on the press lines for the movie, oh, Adam McKay, you're into politics. And I'll literally go, what are you talking about? They go, well, don't you read about politics? I go, no, I read about unemployment. I read about our country, the debt. What do you mean politics? You mean like back chamber deals and stuff? Because that's what politics is.
Yeah.
Like, I read about murder. I read about stuff like that. But
right.
No, politics bores me. I don't care about that.